Okay. Always enjoy something bubbly after work, whether it's champagne, a bubble bath, or Alka-Seltzer. Alright, I'm going to read 4 poems tonight. And the first is called Field. In the field where I'm always returning, in the jaundice, in the wheat, I am 8, and we stomp stems with our running. Hand that bears no mercy, I ask for none. In the field where I spend the afternoon in the white crook of a tree, I've been crying. Mama bird, hold me quietly. Our lawns littered by the car, Papa's oiled hands that repair, the cigarette that spills on the motor. I'm expected to help, but under my skirt I hold secrets. Hand that does not seek to understand. Here is my face. Here is the rest of me. My sister and I pretend in the field that hid our childhood, laying in its itch on after we should. World of wonder, world of fireflies and satellites, our world is small and always shrinking. I take the skirt from my sister, slip it on, the swish of silk around my thighs, and run through the field where I'm always returning, its flag dragging behind me. My sister and I are just pretending. You be the mama bird, and I'll be the chick. You be the hand that knows, and I'll be broken on the linoleum floor. Hand that gives swift reply, answer me now. We sit in the sandbox the cat thinks is litter, and my sister makes me eat each one. It is the nature of our play, my obedience. In the distance, a windmill sounds like declaration. We are, we are, we are. While we pretend in a field that's more of a stage, Diesel Papa has had enough, and the skirt is taken. My mouth left sour. Hand of insurrection that resurrects the hem, return myself to myself. I retake it from the closet, hide in the field that betrays, while Papa's body is occupied inside the cavity of a Chevy. The bluster dries, makes sails out of my skirt. In the distance, the windmill sounds like heartbeats. I have this tradition where every fall I read All of Leaves of Grass. Whitman's my favorite, and this last year before this fall, I read it, and something about section 6 of Song of Myself made me really pissed. And so I wrote this poem. It's called Against Whitman. I know our decision to live doesn't come from within, that even the smallest sprout shows there really is no death. Erosion leads us onward, the cliffs that break us down, the sea that sweeps clean our greatest triumphs, our mistakes. The statue of a god uncovered from seaweed, the body of my cousin. All goes out and down when everything collapses. But if to die is different than anyone supposes, and luckier, it begs the question I have yet to ask. Has anyone been to Montreal? No, a few people. I went there when I was a kid, and the thing I remember most is St. Joseph's Oratory. It's this huge cathedral on the hill, and in the entrance on either side, are just lined with thousands of canes and walking sticks of all the people who came to be healed and left behind their assistance. So this poem's called Faith. Didn't I too once suck deep from the bosom of God? In a cathedral and a part of a city where the old world is brought to the new, didn't I see the two walls lined with canes and crutches? And the crippled, those with crooked spines, were they not, at least some, healed? And didn't I also leave, filled with a great hum, like the St. Lawrence flooding the reservoir? And how long after the last blast of the organ, how long does that sound remain somewhere in the rafters or against the dome's peeled plaster? And how far from the cathedral did the crippled walk before they realized they still could not walk? And when they exhumed the saints' bodies, even after 100 years, didn't those bodies still smell of roses? Or was it more like how, from the right distance, an onion smells sweet even after it's rotted? All right, and the last poem I'm going to read tonight is called What God Has Divided, Let No Man Unite. And thanks, Jeff, for organizing this and for all of you being here. All of you. What God has divided, let no man unite. I know this corner like it's mine, this corner that belongs to everyone who has ever called it their own. I know this sidewalk, cracks and all. I know thresher stare and I know flip wrist. I ride this train to the end of the city because back home a pipe burst and now water trickles down my wall. Now my ceiling darkens and cracks, writes fate over my bed. At night I'm taken out of sleep by the break of a drop on my nose. On the train, a stranger and I exchange a look. Not lust, not exactly, but an understanding. You who are alone are never alone. The city sets in apples and hanes, and never have I felt this tired or this complete. The earth turns, and I begin my long decay. The earth turns each day. Thank you.
Thanks, Jacques Rancourt. So we're going to take a break now, maybe 10 minutes or so. Enjoy some wine, maybe. We'll crack open some